Democrat think tank Third Way released a memo that is creepier than Biden sniffing a kid's hair called "Was It Something I Said?" addressing how disconnected Democrats are from the average person with a lot of their language. You know what we're talking about, chest feed or birthing person.
Her penis, you f***ing bigot.
The memo reads, the intent of this language is to include, broaden, empathize, accept, and embrace. The effect of this language is to sound like the extreme, divisive, elitist, and obfuscatory enforcers of wokeness.
Right.
It's not to sound like, it's to be extreme, divisive, elitist. This memo is spectacular and insane. It's like the Democrats are having a psychotic break. They're completely trying to separate their words from their actions. They've spent a decade telling us what to say and what not to say, and they went, well, this didn't work in getting us power, so let's try something new. Disregard that whole last decade. We're pivoting because we don't believe any of this bullshit anyways, and also, we're trying to find the guy that did this at the same time.
Son of a...
Was it something I said? Yes, it was everything you said. If only millions of people had told you, I'm going to have a psychotic break. I'm going to have one.
I've never been this angry in my entire life.
I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your Dumpster Fire. Welcome to Dumpster Fire, where we make burgers out of your sacred cows. We premiere new episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Please join us in the chat. I will be opening for Dave Landau this weekend at Comedy Mothership, August 29th to the 31st. There's still some tickets left, so get them. They will sell out. There's a link in the description below. And if you want to keep track of everything we do, go to Phetasy.com to see all the content we're churning out, which is a lot. Some may say too much.
Too many notes.
Back to this think tank, Third Way, which was founded by Clinton staffers. It's circulating this list of 45 words and phrases they want Democrats to avoid using, alleging the terms, put a wall between us and everyday people of all races, religions, and ethnicities. It's a set of words that Third Way suggests people simply do not say, yet they hear them from Democrats. I encourage everybody to go read it on their own. We'll link it in the description below, because I read an article, a political article about the memo, and then I read the original source, and it's so much more spectacular than any of the coverage that it got. In fact, it's so spectacular, Maggie and I consider just me sitting here reading it and analyzing it, because it's bonkers in ways that are truly hard to articulate. The real clincher line that I love more than anything is they say, over the years, we've conducted, read, and analyzed hours upon hours of focus groups, and we've yet to hear a voter volunteer any of the phrases below, except as a form of derision or parody of Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No shit, you guys. Among the blacklisted terms, privilege, violence, as in environmental violence, dialoguing, triggering, othering, microaggression, holding space, body shaming, subverting norms, systems of oppression, cultural appropriation, Overton window, existential threat to the climate, democracy, economy, etc., radical transparency, stakeholders, the unhoused, food insecurity, housing insecurity, person who immigrated, birthing person, cisgender, dead naming, heteronormative, patriarchy, LGBTQIA+, BIPOC, allyship, incarcerated people, involuntary confinement. I'm telling you, it takes everything in my being not to lose my fucking mind.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
We have literally devoted an entire show to trying to speak some sense to the Democrats. In fact, it's our 6th birthday today as you watch us. Happy birthday to Dumpster Fire! 6 years we've been covering dumpster fire. Is the consultants didn't need to write this. They could have just made people watch dumpster fire from the beginning to the current moment. Third Way's executive vice president of public affairs said, "We think language is one of the central problems we face with normie voters, signaling that we are out of touch with how they live, think, and talk." How do you do, fellow normie voters? What's so crazy is they're still sounding elitist. Even in this memo, they're like, oh, we're out of touch with those simple rubes who talk like morons. We need to dumb our language down a bit, and maybe then they'll see eye to eye to us, because they still think it's just what they're saying, not what they're actually doing that's connected to those things that they're saying. Finally, they add, "We are not out to police language, ban phrases, or create our own form of censorship."
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's exactly what you were out to do. That's what you spent a decade doing. There were mobs everywhere that were coming after people for using the wrong word. If anybody stepped out of line, they were called a bigot, a white supremacist. You created the conditions for all of this, and now you are the guy in the hot dog costume going, we're trying to find a guy that did this.
Someone drove a hot dog-shaped car through the window.
Come on, whoever did this, just confess. We promise we won't be mad.
We weren't out for censorship, right, guys? Right? No, we didn't implement all of this language in HR policies. We didn't have top-down diversity trainings that forced people to sit through ridiculous terms talking about birthing persons and microaggressions and the ways in which you could and could not speak to your coworker anymore.
Walmart's critical race theory training program denounces the United States as a white supremacy system and teaches white hourly wage employees that they are guilty of white supremacy thinking and internalized racial superiority.
No, none of that happened at all. We were just using words disconnected from the normie people. I'm going to fucking lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. If we can't do it this way, we're doing it the other way. In other words, we're still banning words. Like, they're still banning words. Now they're telling people not to use these words. It's words they made up. It is outrageous. It reads a little bit like the Democrats are having a psychotic break, but honestly, I'm probably going to be the one that has a psychotic break. The memo, spectacular memo, was it something we said? Goes on to read, in reality, most Democrats do not run or govern on wildly out-of-touch social positions. Also false. Many Democrats are aware that words and phrases we use can be profoundly alienating, but they use it because plain, authentic language that voters understand often rebounds badly among many activists and advocacy organizations. These activists and advocates may take on noble causes, but in doing so, they often demand compliance with their preferred messages. They're blaming the activists. They're trying to blame the activists and advocates, these think tanks, while they say, now, mind you, we've used some of this language in policies we've also written.
Do you hear yourself?
It goes on to say, that is how birthing person became a stand-in for mother or mom. Birthing person, chest feeder. Someone finally listened to dumpster fire, because we've only been saying women! 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 For 6 years! I still can't believe how weirdly out of touch even this memo is while they're trying to be in touch. Another gem from the memo. As we fight racism and discrimination, we should reflect upon whether the words we are using are part of the reason Democrats are losing support from all non-white voter groups.
Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Well, well, well.
Oh, you mean you realize realize that the Latin community hates the term Latinx and you've been ignoring them telling you that for the last decade and you're finally hearing the consultant class who's telling you this? Also, hilariously hilarious. They capitalized white in the words non-white. At last, white gets the equal treatment as black in language. The memo ends by saying, recognize that much of the language above is a red flag for a sizable segment of the American public. It's not because they are bigots, but because they fear cancellation, doxing, or trouble with HR if they make a mistake. Excuse me?
Am I a joke to you?
You guys were the ones canceling people for language and running to HR. And it's so telling that you have to point out that people aren't necessarily bigots for not wanting to use the term inseminated person to describe women. Women. Jimmy Kimmel came out and complained about word policing with Sarah Silverman last week. And I was like, bro, you're the head of the political HOA.
The party that is about inclusivity is incredibly elitist. You know, just fucking say, join us. Yes, come, join us. Yes.
What are you guys talking about? You are the king and queen of the political HOA. You guys have been policing words and pulling up the ladder behind you for the last fucking decade. And now you're like, oh, all these crazy liberals who sound so elitist, am I right? And he's like, I know. Did you hear that I got Italian fucking citizenship? You guys are out of your minds. There's so much goodness in this memo, truly. Communicating in authentic ways that welcome rather than drive voters away would be a good start. Yes, let's communicate in authentic ways by being completely inauthentic. Here are your talking points. Oh, they didn't work. Here are your new talking points. That's what this memo is. We compiled thousands of focus groups to communicate in authentic ways. Do you see how authentic we are? This is the fucking consultant class. They are the worst, truly, and always behind going, we told you. Here's what we've learned 10 years too late. Literally, people have been saying this since 2015, people like me. But honestly, how do I get some of that money? Give me some of that consulting money. Democrats, I will help you pivot out of this mess you guys are in that you keep put down the shovel. This is where the real money is at for us. Honestly, dumpster fire consulting should become a thing. I've been right for 6 years, but was anyone listening? Of course not, because who would listen to a birthing person chest feeder?
I'm not going to be ignored.
I'm still just astounded. These are all words that they invented, and this is a level of self-awareness that I wasn't really expecting from them, but when you read the original memo, you realize it's not self-awareness at all. And if it is, it's because they're sociopaths. This memo was actually insane because underneath all of the little lists, they have what it sounds like when you use these words. So when you're using words like chest feeder, it sounds like you're talking down to somebody and that you're speaking to them as if their beliefs about gender are quaint, not that they're trying to deconstruct all of gender and deconstruct reality as you know it. It sounds like the serial killer who has the broken leg and needs help getting a piece of furniture into the car. And when he's talking, he realizes he didn't really sell that limp and that he sounded a little too aggressive in asking for your help.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
We're not getting back into your van, Democrats. Okay? And before our next segment, and before I lose my ever-loving whatever is left of my mind, please don't forget to like, subscribe, touch my bells and buttons, and tell your friends about us. We did hit 100,000. Thank you so much. We are figuring out how to shoot the Mexican weather report, and we will get it done in the next few weeks. You will not miss it. It will be a standalone episode. You have to stick around through the ad to see the weather report, you guys. Sorry, them's the rules. Guys enter the room dick first. Not all men do enter the room dick first, but you should. You don't need a big dick to have big dick energy. You just need Blue Chew. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Big dick energy doesn't come from having a big dick. It comes from being able to use your dick. Having a dick that works. Don't we all want that? And it's not just about getting it up. It's about keeping it up long enough for her to come or him. I don't care which way you go, guys. All right? Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code Bridget at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. And big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Now let's check the weather with the OG, Yanette Garcia.
Además, el aporte de humedad proveniente del Golfo de México y del Océano Pacífico, ambos sistemas estarán provocando mucha nubosidad en gran parte del territorio mexicano. Asimismo, la probabilidad de lluvia y vientos fuertes, principalmente sobre el norte, noreste, oriente y centro del territorio mexicano. Así que...
Thank you, Yanette. We love you. Back to talking about the Democrats have a language problem. They're having a lot of problems. If only someone had been talking about this word thing for the past 6 years, how could they have known that they shouldn't say these words? There would have had to have been somebody out there telling them not to use them. There would have had to have been a crazy suburban mom losing her mind in a garage or in a freaking media room screaming that they were out of touch, screaming, women for yes! Women! Women! If only there was someone who they were trying to attract as a voter out there telling them never to use chest feeder or uterus haver. If only.
Harvard Medical School is referring to women as birthing people.
Ugh, fuck you, Harvard. Whew.
New York City school encourages kids to stop using words like mom and dad in inclusive language guide.
Everything is so dumb.
Trigger warning now counts as violent language at Brandeis University.
Of course. Trigger warning, you might get triggered by the use of the word trigger. We are creating the most coddled, fragile, sensitive, little entitled, insane, mentally ill children ever to walk the history of the face of the planet Earth. And they're all on TikTok spewing their nonsense.
In Houston, some real estate society is changing their use of the term master bedroom to primary bedroom, I think. They're getting rid of the term master because of the slave connotation. Hundreds of changes have been made to the original text of Roald Dahl's books after sensitivity readers were hired to scrutinize the text with words such as fat removed.
Okay, first of all, this makes me want to unalive myself. Click, boom, boom, bye-bye.
USC will no longer use the word field because it's racist.
This could have been in sprained my eyes. I can't get my eyes unstuck from the back of my head at this shit. I'm so tired of it. Can we just stop with this?
Google Docs gets social justice update, autocorrecting to gender neutral and politically correct language.
If you thought autocorrect was bad, wait until it's woke autocorrect.
Ugh.
It's like what you meant to say was, I'm sorry about my privilege. And this is what I hear from people all the time about why they're voting for Trump. They're like all the censorship, the big tech, this kind of creepy Orwellian, changing the definition of words on the fly, words that meant one thing one day. When you're changing a word to use it politically, to be politically damaging, is very chilling. Please don't mishear me. I'm not saying I'm brilliant. I'm saying this is fucking obvious. My dumpster fire audience knows you guys have been through a lot with me. It's our 6-year birthday today. We started this August 26, 2019. Can you believe that? We've been together 6 years, and so much can happen in 6 years. Like the culture can eventually regain its sense again in some ways, but we're never going to be the same. I personally hate going through these old dumpster fire clips. It's never fun for me to see how hot I was before I had a child. We're pro-life here now. Because if I had this show when I was a liberal, we wouldn't have a child.
It's funny because it's true.
But we had to showcase some of our favorite moments of covering this nonsense because the Democrats will try to memory hole everything that's been happening for the last 10 years. And Dumpster Fire is a little time capsule of the insanity. Please enjoy some of these clips from the before times.
In the long, long ago.
But also realize these words weren't disconnected. They were in policy. They were in HR. Them trying to disconnect themselves from the actual actions of the words is what makes this psychotic. They're just acting like, oh, we were just trying these words and they didn't work. Anyways, never mind.
Right.
While you had guys losing their college education because they messed up on some Title IX. They put men in women's prisons. They put men in women's locker rooms. They had fucking Burning Man for Porsche, Chaz. Let's not pretend that there wasn't all kinds of insane shit in the last decade that was going down. It wasn't just words that disconnected Americans. There was plenty of action behind this too. It's psycho.
It's the belief system behind the words.
The entire belief system. That's what makes it psycho. They're literally saying, oh, those words didn't work. So we're going to slap another coat on this whore. And then we're going to put her out there and see if she can convince somebody to get in the car with her or whatever. Like, we're going to see if someone will pick her up. Next thing you know, the Democrats are going to come up with a list of words they should say. It's going to be hilarious when this is the part of the memo that got left out. Maybe they struck it. Words you should say, like make America great again and retard.
I think the word has just become a symbolic issue for powerful groups that feel like they're doing the right thing.
Well, that's retarded.
People literally clap when I say that on stage, and it makes me roll my eyes. I'm like, it's so crazy that I get an applause break for saying retard. Women! Lame, gay, whore. I just think I like saying whore. Fatty, poor, free speech, and repeal the 19th. They're like, please say repeal the 19th. I do have a solution. This is what the Democrats should get behind. They have a man problem. Get rid of all the crazy women. Problem solved.
It's so simple.
Democrats made everything lame and gay.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Democrats are pushing a reversion to the language we've been using here on Dumpster Fire for the last 6 years. Don't refer to them as larger bodied, refer to them as the fats. Don't refer to them as economically insecure, refer to them as the poors. And don't refer to him as a fascist, refer to him as dear leader or in certain cases, spastic retard. The icing on the cake is that Democrats still haven't gotten the message, in spite of the most amazing memo I've ever read in my life. Because at the opening of the DNC summer meeting today, Democrats opened with a land acknowledgement.
The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate.
Nothing more relatable than a land acknowledgement. Again, though, such a perfect encapsulation of what they're doing right now, which is we're going to say a lot of words that don't mean anything. We're not going to give the land back. We're not going to abandon it. God forbid we just give it all back to the Native American tribes that we're citing in this land acknowledgement. We're just going to acknowledge that we murdered all of them and then move on with our little speech.
Put the fucking lotion in the basket.
Serial killers! They're sociopaths. At least now I can call that lady fat, though. I'm not fat phobic in that I'm not afraid of fat people. I am afraid of the fat person inside of me who's dying to come out. I'm not afraid of fat people. I'm faster than them.
Oh, boy.
And the little rascals that they ride around on. I say all of this as our president, Trump, just signed an executive order banning flag burning and saying someone will be put in prison for a year if they do. Can we just have a political party that believes in free speech?
You want to claim this land as a land of the free? Then the symbol of your country cannot just be a flag. The symbol also has to be one of its citizens exercising his right to burn that flag in protest.
Anyone? I'm in Twitter jail because I made fun of Tucker and Elon. Can we just have a social media platform that believes in free speech? It's gone. And it's gone. All right. So many people have struggled to lose weight, myself included. And Quest Health offers a line of tests for metabolism, weight loss, and nutrition lab tests to help you on your weight loss journey. Test your way to better gains. Whether you're building endurance, managing energy, or training with precision, lab testing can provide clarity on what's happening beneath the surface. Also, everyone's on some sort of diet, and a lot of those diets leave you with vitamin deficiencies you might not be aware of. Quest can help you there too. For keto people, they have high-fat diet vitamin deficiency test panel. They have a high-protein diet vitamin deficiency test panel. There's a low-carb diet vitamin deficiency test panel. And there's a vegetarian and vegan diet vitamin deficiency test panel. And a series of weight loss journey test panels. You can also get a basic fitness profile and metabolic risk test panel. These are lab quality tests, the same ones you'd be given at a doctor's office. So prioritize your health and visit questhealth.com today. Use the code Bridget to get 25% off and find answers to the multitude of health questions you may have. That's questhealth.com and use the code Bridget for 25% off. Link in the description below. All right. As we mentioned, it's Dumpster Fire's 6th birthday. Woo-hoo! We don't have Sam around anymore. If she was, there would be decorations and a cake. And Maggie and I are not that on top of celebrating things.
We're terrible at celebrating anything.
Some of you have been with us since the very beginning. And that, it makes me emotional to think about because you've seen me through so much change in my own life. It also makes me realize how much can happen in just 6 short years. When I started this, I was just like a young single girl in Los Angeles running around. And now I have a child, a over 3-year-old child, and a husband and a Texas suburban home. I mean, never, ever in a million years could I have seen that coming, although looking back, I probably should have.
I love to going back through the old Dumpster Fire transcripts and stuff, trying to find clips to use for this. It just, Dumpster Fire is just a gem. There are so many good little weird moments in it that are just so crazy. I love. So if you haven't, go back and just watch a random episode. They're so fun. Some of them are just batshit crazy.
If you've been with us since the beginning, please tell Maggie in the comments what your favorite moments from Dumpster Fire were, ones that really stood out, something that you love from the show. It is wild to look back at how crazy things were. And like 2020, 2021 was fucking nuts. And this show has kept me sane. You guys have kept me sane. There have been many times where I've had a lot of questions about whether I could continue with this show. Many, you've seen me wrestle with this. And I actually think you've kept me sane. All these, I mean, sane is a loose term in 2025, but you've kept me in check. You've checked me actually and pushed back, made me think, made me laugh. Some of you made me cry. You've written me letters thanking me, and Maggie and I truly do love this little dumpster fire that could. It's so cool that we hit 100,000 right around our 6th birthday. This show is like our most labor-intensive project of all of the projects. And it is worth every minute. And every dumpster fire is truly a miracle because we are 2 morons who have no idea what we're doing.
I can barely even turn on the camera.
I mean, truly, like, it is a miracle. And thank you to all the people who have helped us along the way, whether they're people who donated mics in the very beginning, whether it is people who have sponsored us like Sheath,
whether our subscribers,
all of our subscribers and supporters, like people who subscribe to Phetasy, you guys truly make such a difference because it helps us keep the lights on. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it with even Phetasy last year, and you guys came through for us. You've come through. You bought a $10,000 boat, a lot of the Phetasy subscribers and Dumpster Fire supporters, for a nonprofit in South Africa. You guys donated. You helped me when you sent blankets when I had a baby. I mean, the amount of love that I do put into this is truly met with love from my audience, and I've met so many of you. I love when you come to my shows and scream women from the back of the room. That is amazing. And I hope to meet more of you. And I hope to take this on the road and do live dumpster fires. And I feel like more and more people are like, all right, both sides are fucking, all right. I see what you're saying, Bridget. I finally see it. Right. But we do need to be able to laugh at all of it, too. Because what else do we have, really? That's the Irish in me.
Yeah. Phetasy News.
If you love Dumpster Fire, the best thing you can do is, as I said, become a paid supporter at Phetasy.com. Give us a birthday present. That would be the best. It's really very little for a year of an insane amount of content. You get the unedited version of this Dumpster Fire, and we leave a lot of inappropriate things on the cutting room floor. You also get access to everything else we're doing, and it's a lot. Join us right here on YouTube every Tuesday and Friday night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern for a new Dumpster Fire. Thank you to everyone who helps make Dumpster Fire possible. Thank you to my husband who allows me to make this show. Thank you to Ben and Kevin. Thank you to Blue Chew and Quest for sponsoring today's episode. And thank you to all of you. We love you. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Bridget.
I just had this terrible feeling something was going to go wrong and I'd have to reshoot this.
Oh, God.
And now to cleanse your palate, the internet is glorious. Remember, life is absurd. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. Take the work seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. This has been your Dumpster Fire. 6 years. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich so I can be a member of the consultant class and talk about how those rubes don't know anything in real America. Last week on Real America, we talked about education, and it's such a huge topic, and so many people had a lot to say about it. We've decided to keep the conversation going with education, part 2. Where do you stand on education? Homeschool? School choice? School vouchers? What about AI? What is really top of mind for you when you think about the state of education in America? Join me, Bridget Phetasy, on Real America, Wednesday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We will be live discussing this. You can register to join the conversation at twoway.tv/Bridget Zoom, or you can simply watch the episode at Real America Phetasy on YouTube.